Proserpine and Pluto. Proserpine was the beautiful daughter of Ceres, goddess of agriculture and harvest on earth. Both loved each other very much and enjoyed being together. But Ceres would be busy the entire day and return to the loving arms of her darling daughter only in the evenings. While Ceres was away, Proserpine would amuse herself playing with her nymph companions and would hurry home in order to welcome her dear mother as she returned home after seeing to the crops across the earth. One fine day, Proserpine and her nymph friends were plucking violets and daisies by the lake to make garlands with. Proserpine, with her blue eyes and golden hair shining in the bright sunlight, was laughing with delight as she ran to the other side of the lake, leaving her friends far behind. It was at that moment that Pluto, the dark and handsome god of the underworld, happened to set his eyes upon her. And it was at that moment that he fell in love with her. He was riding that way on his chariot, drawn by 4 black horses, when he first saw her.
"How beautiful she is!"
Pluto cried out.
"I will take her away. She will be my wife, the queen of the underworld."
He decided. Quick as lightning, Pluto drove his chariot close to her, scooped her into his arms, threw the startled girl on the seat of his chariot, and hurled it down into the darkest depths of the underworld, taking the lovely Proserpine with him. The other maidens, unaware of what had happened, looked for her. Then, deciding that she must have gone home, went away too. When Ceres returned home, tired after the whole day's work, there was no Proserpine waiting for her. "Proserpine, where are you, my dear child?" she called out. She began to look for her here and there. Not finding her at home, she searched the entire neighborhood, but she could not find her daughter anywhere. It seemed as if Proserpine had vanished into thin air. Flaming torch in hand, eyes streaming with tears, the sorrowing mother sought her daughter throughout the earth. Not a blade of grass grew, nor any corn, nor any fruits or flowers. She walked the earth, making a desert at every step. After having searched for her in every corner of the earth, Ceres fell down on her knees and cried out for help to Jupiter. Jupiter had been watching all this from heaven. When he heard the distraught mother's cry for help, he got worried. People would die if the crops failed. If that happened, who would worship him? He could never allow that.
"I must do something,"
he said to himself. After pondering over the matter, he sent for his youngest son, Mercury, god of flight.
"My son,"
he said to the handsome god with tiny wings attached on his head and feet,
"Go to my brother, your uncle Pluto, and get Proserpine back."
He then told him all that had happened and how Ceres, in her desperation, was destroying all that grew on earth. Meanwhile, Proserpine cried and cried, desperately wanting to get back to the earth, to her beloved mother. She refused any food offered to her by the handmaidens. Legend said that if one ate anything in the land of Pluto, one could never leave. She did not know if this legend was true, but as the days passed, she started to feel the pangs of hunger more and more. How she yearned to be with her mother. Mercury, the winged messenger, now flew down into the depths of the earth. Nothing would have happened, but just as he entered the royal chamber, he found Pluto seated on his black throne, lovingly feeding the weak and hungry Proserpine 4 seeds of the pomegranate fruit. Mercury was ready to strike a bargain between Pluto and himself. If Pluto were to marry Proserpine and make her his queen, she would live with him for 4 months of the year, since she had partaken 4 seeds of the pomegranate fruit. The rest of the year she would return to her mother Ceres and live with her on earth. Pluto, much against his will, had to bow down to the wishes of his nephew, sent by Jupiter, the king of the gods. So every year when Mother Ceres receives her daughter, the beautiful Proserpine on earth, it is springtime everywhere. Fresh green leaves and buds cover every tree. The grass grows and covers the earth like a green carpet. The sun shines down brightly, and birds chirp on every tree. Summertime ripens the golden corn and fills the granaries for man to eat. In the autumn, Ceres changes the leaves to shades of brown and orange as a gift to Proserpine before she returns into the loving arms of her husband Pluto. During the time Proserpine resides with Pluto, the world goes through winter, a time when the earth becomes barren and nothing grows, for Ceres is sad, waiting for her daughter to return on earth.